Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about some new developments, some information that has just come to light. And we will talk about how it came to light and why it came to light in the way that it did, and what that probably means for the future. And this is a topic that we have kind of talked about before, but it's about to become important. Okay, so information has surfaced that the United States has offered Netanyahu information, high-level intelligence on exactly where Hamas leadership is, offering this in exchange for them not going into Rafah. If you take this and combine this with the rumor mill stuff about small diameters being offered, it certainly appears, it doesn't appear, the United States is pushing Netanyahu to engage in a strategy of realignment and shaping, which is going after the leadership and the leadership alone, and degrading warfighting capability in that way. That offer is now public. It has been, quote, leaked. The people who said this were apparently not authorized to speak on it. I feel fairly certain that this was an authorized leak, because there are a lot of signs that suggest Netanyahu is right on the cusp of sending forces into Rafah, into population centers. And this is an attempt to get that to stop. Separately, the United States has reportedly offered water, food, medicine, tents, and kind of offered an assistance in developing a delivery system for all of it, and said that they have to keep the conditions livable, that they can't expose those people who had to flee to additional hardships of famine and disease. This has also been leaked. Okay, so this is authorized. Why is it coming out the way that it is? Number one, to hopefully dissuade Netanyahu. Number two, I want you to think back to what the most likely charges from the ICC were. Not exercising due care around civilians and interfering with humanitarian aid. The United States has now, prior to anything happening, has made it known that they have offered incredibly precise munitions designed to mitigate civilian harm and the intelligence necessary to use them properly. If somebody was to avoid using that when it was offered, they may not be exercising due care around civilians. And then they have offered basically to take care of all of the humanitarian needs. It is setting up a situation where if Netanyahu goes into Rafah and, let's just say, isn't careful, it's a choice. I would be willing to bet almost anything that if Netanyahu said, well, we don't know that our pilots can do it, the U.S. would secretly offer to do it for them. So, in the way that this came out, it certainly appears that the United States is offering everything that they need to avoid additional issues. And making it public creates a situation where it's really hard to deny that it was a choice. The signs that Netanyahu is about to order stuff into the middle of Rafah, meaning population centers, the signs of that are pretty significant. There have been stuff that's been reported on, but that could easily be real, or it could be a psychological operation. But there are other signs beyond that he is getting ready to order that. And this is something that the United States has tried desperately to avoid. They have now offered everything necessary to avoid even the need to go into Rafah to complete the objectives that Netanyahu has laid out. So even with those objectives, the U.S. is like, here, you can do it this way. And they made it publicly known before a move into Rafah occurred. Hopefully, Netanyahu will get the message. The relationship between Biden and Netanyahu, regardless of what is said in public, it probably couldn't be any frostier. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.